Welcome to the retreat. After all that they said, I don't think I need to say anything more. So, let me start with a chant, and then we'll have a small little chat, introductory chat, and then we'll start for today, and tomorrow we'll have a full-fledged satsang. So, this is an ancient chant. Many of you may already know it. So I'm going to begin with that. Goes like this. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So this is what we actually intend to do. What I chanted just now is kind of a mission statement. The sloka is Purnamada, Purnamidam, idam also, not only this idam, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamaduchyate, from that Purna, I'll translate, from that Purna has come this, somebody says, what is this Pur going on? So, from that Purna has come this Purna. And when this has come out of that, that still remains full. This is the statement. So what the great ancient Upanishads are trying to say, please understand that Upanishads are not meant only for us Indians. Upanishads are a universal teaching. It so happens that it originated in India. Suppose something originates in the United States, in what language will you say it? In English? In the same way, since it originated in India, and the language then was Sanskrit, the serious language used was Sanskrit. Don't worry about it, now hardly people know any Sanskrit. Which is very sad, because it was a wonderful language which we have neglected. Anyway, so therefore it was written in Sanskrit and spoken in Sanskrit and taught in Sanskrit, which is why it is in Sanskrit. But when you say it's in Sanskrit, that doesn't mean it belongs to any denomination. Make this clear. The only denomination here is that we are human beings. The other wonderful sloka from the Vedas and the Upanishads is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, which translated would mean, may the whole world be happy. Sarve Santu Niramaya, let no one suffer pain and illness. Sarve Bhadrani Pakshantu, whatever I see, may I see all things auspicious. Ma Kaschit Dukhavad Bhave, let not sorrow hit anybody. This is the prayer. So it's a universal thing, but it's couched in Sanskrit because that was the language of the times. Now, Purnamada Purnamidam. So what I'm trying to say is we are not here to learn how to levitate. We are also not here to learn how to stand on our heads for 2 hours. Yoga is okay, good, you'll also have some yoga training in the morning. What we're trying to do is look into the essence of what has been taught to us from ancient times, which later on, after the Upanishads came into so many different teachings, like the Upanishads, and after the Upanishads, all the Yoga Shastra that we have, the Bhagavad Gita, and of course the Brahma Sutras. When I say I, this M sitting in front of you, belong to a tradition called the Nada Sampradaya. In the tradition of the Nads, we have no differences with others, some traditions, but I belong to the Nada Sampradaya. And I would like to point out to you that it's the Nads who saved, literally saved, the yogic practices from time immemorial. But there was a time when one section of society in India thought that if you simply say the whole world is an illusion, Brahman is the reality, in the Vedantic sense you have found it, but you don't find it. You can say it, but you cannot find it. It's very easy to say, I am the Supreme Brahman, but we are not the Supreme Brahman. If we are the Supreme Brahman, why are you upset if somebody takes away my watch? So, to understand Brahma Vidya is one thing. To practice and find out if it's true and how we can experience it is another. And that's where yoga comes into use. The practical. We have a wonderful book, a wonderful reference scripture called the Bhagavad Gita. It's very interesting because on one hand we have the Upanishads, which make lofty statements like, you are that. We don't know what is that. And first of all, we don't know what I am, so how do I find what is that? So, Tat Tvamasi, lofty statement. But one has to lead a certain life to figure this out, if it's really true, if one really can be Tat, that. Tat is that, actually. You don't even have to change the spelling. It's that, Tat. So, the Bhagavad Gita, and then we have the body of literature called the Brahma Sutras. The Upanishads by themselves are not so easy. The Brahma Sutras are even more difficult to understand. Then we have the Bhagavad Gita in the middle, which kind of sums up and gives you the essence of the Upanishads and the Brahma Sutra in very simple form, in the form of a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. And that too in the middle of the battlefield. And it's not confined to the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The battlefield is the daily battlefield that we go through in life. Don't we see how we get into this battlefield in this world? There are plus and minus forces. There are pro and anti. There is black and white, and there is everything. So, Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful way of integrating the deep teachings of the Upanishads into your daily life so that one can actually experience and practice the Upanishads. And the Bhagavad Gita at the end of each chapter makes a beautiful statement. Every chapter has it. It says, Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so this is the Bhagavad Gita. We will explain that tomorrow. That also needs explanation. Why it's called the Bhagavad Gita. Then we know why we are sitting here. Iti Bhagavad Gita so Upanishads. It is also the teachings of the Upanishad. Brahma Vidyayam, the understanding of the knowledge of the Supreme Reality, which is Brahman. Then it's not over. Yoga Shastra. And then Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, which means a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Although Krishna does most of the talking, Arjuna butts in once in a while and is asked to shut up. Okay. So, well, he doesn't use the word shut up, but you know what I mean. He says, Arjuna, you don't know, so let me explain to you. Okay. So, Yoga Shastra therefore forms an important part of this. By Yoga Shastra, do we mean just the asanas and the posture, or what is beyond yoga? What actually yoga, which we'll deal with tomorrow. We'll elaborate on this in the next 1.5 days that we have. That's one point I wanted to make. The other is, when you say Purnamada, it means that the origin of this universe, from where this universe has come, is completeness. Now the next statement may not gel with us. Purnamidam, this is also complete, but we are always incomplete. If we are not incomplete, what are we searching for? We feel we are not full, we are empty, at least somewhere, here and there. We need to fill it. So this statement, Purnamidam, this is also complete, needs to be understood. When this is understood, then that is understood. It's the same, actually linked to each other. So Purnamada, Purnamidam. And this Purna has come from that, which is why sometimes we sit down and feel that I know everything, I am all powerful and so on. It occurs to people at different times, maybe some particular subject, maybe. It's because built into our system is the understanding that the source from which we have come is complete. And this is what we seek in this world. As we live, acquire, do all our things, we want to go back to that completeness. The teaching says you are intrinsically complete. Go back into yourself. So this is what we are going to deal with. And where does yoga come into play? Because the ordinary mind, which is always distracted, which is intention, which doesn't have complete understanding, this little mind of ours cannot touch that infinite. It's too puny and too insignificant to touch the infinite, no matter what we do. Therefore, yoga basically is the system or practice by which you train your mind to break its boundaries, where all the distractions of the mind are removed and the mind in its quietness then almost disappears, and what remains is the truth, which is your true identity, which is complete, full, pure. This is what we will be doing for the next 1.5 days. And as you go deep within, please understand that you are not shutting out the world. We have to live in this world and then act as we should, right? But righteously, and also find the center of our being. Otherwise it doesn't work. You can't sit in a cave and meditate. It's over. The time is over. No more can you do that. First of all, there's no cave to meditate. You might search for one, but come out in 2 days. So, in fact, my master, Maheshwarnath Babaji, who was my guru, who came from the Nath Sampradaya, and I'm not talking about Nath politicians, I'm talking about Nath yogis. Although he is a good friend, he's a good man. But when Maheshwarnath Babaji told me something very interesting, he said, if you sit in a cave and meditate for 10 years, 10 hours a day, and then you say, now I have conquered my limitedness, I have become peaceful, I don't get angry, I'm not jealous, I have no complaints about anybody. He asked me, who are you complaining against? There's nobody in the cave. And what are you jealous of? The walls of the cave? What are you angry with? The walls of the cave? There's nothing there. So that's not a criteria. I'm sitting alone, so I'm free. No. When I come out of the cave and get into a bus to go to Rishikesh or somewhere, and somebody gives me a good damn kick on my leg, I know where I stand. Am I angry? Am I really free? Am I feeling kindness toward this guy who kicked me? Or the woman with the stiletto heel who put right into my leg? Am I really feeling kind? No. So, the checking point or where you can really see what you are is the world. This is why Krishna said to Arjuna, Karma Yoga means live in this world, do your duties properly, understand the communication between human beings, and there you see you develop. I understand that periods of solitude are essential. Understood. But you can't stay there forever. Now here you've come for 2 days, there is some solitude, you're cut off from your surroundings, which is good. But you can't stay forever. Even I'm going away after a few days. It's not. So these are also some of the things that we are going to deal with and discuss. And there is a time when I'm going to give you some time to ask questions. Because better you ask questions now than send me an email saying, please come in your astral body and answer my questions. You have no idea how many emails come. Somebody said I had to hover around their bed at night. I said I won't because I don't know what situation you are in. So, this is what we are going to study, and please understand that it is not meant for any special individuals, it's meant for you and me. I am not a special, I might have gone through some experiences and found something, but I am like you. Look at me. Do I have any special paraphernalia except maybe my hair? That's a style, okay? Nothing to do. This is my Nath Sampradaya. I don't even wear those rings which they wear, the Kanpatas. Babaji said, no need, you don't have to do that. So I said, okay. Only two things I follow the Nath Sampradaya. One is, the name given to me by Maheshwarnath Babaji was Madhukar Nath. So that, but many people don't know. It's only M. So that's okay, great. And the other is that the Naths are supposed to have a fire burning wherever they go. Symbolically, it means the fire or the desire to find the truth, or the fire that burns away all the dross and makes you pure. This is what it means, symbolically. But they also keep a fire wherever they go. If you go to Gorakhpur, you will find Gorakhnath's Dhuni. So it's called a Dhuni. Now Babaji knew that my job is different and I can't look carrying the fire in the aircraft. So he said, you don't need it, but twice a year I have the fire on. One is during Shivratri and the other is during Guru Purnima. It's usually in Madnapalli where I live. It's a small little town, not very far from Bangalore, 2.5 hours from the Bangalore airport, but in Andhra Pradesh. It's surrounded by hills, it's a small little town. That's where I live, that's where I'm usually there for Guru Purnima and Shivratri. This time, because of the attraction to Bholenath and a lot of persuasion from friends, we have decided to have the Shivratri in Varanasi, in Banaras. But usually I'm in Madnapalli. But this is going to be just once, I'm not going to be there. There is Bholenath sitting there, always drunk with bhang, I don't have to go there. So, we are also going to teach you how to drink bhang, please. We're not making it in the kitchen. That is an intoxication that comes with spiritual understanding. So, we also want to open this bar of joy so that you find your drink inside yourself and don't waste your time outside in the bars. Actually, it's a very happy thing. It's nothing to be very sad about. Once somebody asked, you've all heard of Swami Vivekananda, at least most of you. Somebody asked Swami Vivekananda, I saw a man who was very serious, I think he's a great yogi. He said, look, if you find somebody with a very painful looking expression on the face and looking very sorry, don't think that all of them are yogis. You might be suffering from dyspepsia. You know what I mean? So you're going towards the center of joy, which the good news is inside you. Not here, also here. If it's here, it's there. If I have found it, I feel you will find it too. But we need to look at this practice called yoga, which is beyond asanas. In fact, if you have seen the YouTube, that was my talk last year or this year. When did I go to Switzerland? You know, you came for the retreat, doctor. When was that? This year or last? This year. This year. So then I went to Geneva from there for the WHO talk. And the subject was yoga beyond asanas. But since we're having a yoga training in the morning, it will be a very good idea for you to attend. Michelle from Holland, from Netherlands, who teaches yoga, is a very good yoga teacher. I have seen her in action. She's perfect. Maybe she does yoga asanas better than me. So it will be of advantage, of course. But yoga is not that, it's beyond asanas. So here I have kind of pointed out to you what we're going to do for the next day and a half. It's up to you, enjoy yourself. And please don't go out at night without shoes, because we don't have cobras here, which I love. We have rattlesnakes. Watch out. That's about all for today. There's one more thing I wanted to tell you. I don't know when to adjust this, but we're going to have a entertainment. We have meditation, and we have music. Wonderful people here who have come. I've heard them they traveled all the way to Kerala and came to Kannur for the retreat. It's so wonderful. I'm not praising you, sorry, I'm not flattering you, but it's really beautiful. Heavenly music. And he plays on an instrument which I had never seen before. And then after that we'll have some bhajans. Deepu sings well. He sings like K.L. Saigal. And so the question now is, there's a little secret which many people may not have heard. We have managed to bring Sri Guru Babaji, who is the founder of this whole thing, Sri Guru Babaji, who lives in the Himalayas. We got him a visa and brought him to the United States. So right there behind you, down below, in the grove, he's sitting there now. It took him, how many, 1.5 months to reach? Yeah, he came via Singapore and slowly came on here. So he refused to come in here before I arrived. So they tried their best, but the day after I arrived, he came. So we have kept him there. We have done some prana pradishta and consecrated Babaji as a life-size image of Babaji in his usual Padmasana posture. Unfortunately, there is no good place there to sit around, otherwise we could have meditated there. How can they sit? How many people can sit? We are in the process of creating a nice space so that people can sit down and meditate. But if you are okay sitting here and there and meditating and seeing Babaji, I don't mind taking you there now. And then after, is it okay?
Yes.
And after that we can come back and have our music.
Okay.
What do you say?
Yes.
Is it all right?
Yes.
Okay, but you need to wear some proper shoes before you go. It's a little bit tricky going down. Walk carefully, slowly. You'll be fine. Huh? Is it okay? Did I change the program? I'm sorry. I would love to break schedules. All my life I have been breaking schedules. Yeah.